Greetings, 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 greeting, beloved. It's about that time. We're almost entering into 2025. 2024 was beautiful, it was amazing, it was complicated. Many of us traveled abroad. Many of us were seeking opportunities, seeking our purpose. We traveled to Africa. We traveled to South America. We traveled to Europe and to Asia, to all kinds of places. So, what I have discovered is that we are the original and indigenous people. The globe and this planet belongs to us. Anywhere we place our feet, it is home for us. So, my experience in Africa has always been amazing. My experience in the UK, in Scotland, was amazing. So, I'm looking forward to this new chapter and this new journey, uncomplicating things and taking value, understanding what that means for myself and valuing the experiences from our ancestors. So I'm going to embrace everything that is designed for me to discover, rediscover, to learn, to unlearn. I'm so looking forward to this next chapter. 2025, I've been saying, energy and positivity is everything. So I want to speak to you tonight about the power of knowing who you are, having the confidence, the self love, and the self respect to be able to know the direction that you're headed in and also to maintain a level of focus. Now, when we're going through this journey, it requires discipline. And many of us can't handle the repetition of doing something until the goal or the mission is accomplished. But I tell you, there is beauty in starving your inner man to reach your ultimate purpose. It's not easy. Nothing in life is easy. But we are surrounded by a host of our people. Once we go to them and ask for guidance, ask for insight, ask for instructions, and not just tell them what we want, but listen to them. Sometimes it's just a matter of sitting quietly in a space that allows you to hear what is being said to you. And hopefully, you've done the work so that when you hear it, you can receive it and then implement what you hear. So, nothing is easy in life. On this journey, we have ups, we have downs, um, we have opportunities, and then we lose those opportunities because life happens to many of us. It does, whether it's financially, physically, emotionally. We all have gone through something. But I am in a space of stillness and perfect peace. And I'm telling you, it is in this space of stillness that I have learned to value and appreciate all of my experiences, the good, the bad, ugly, indifferent, all of them. They're who I am. They make up my composition today. And so for that, I am grateful for living this experience. I mean, actually living it and having the opportunity to overcome these issues, these battles, and then having the opportunity to experience the rewards. So I want to say that when we're on this journey, wherever we are, wherever you are in the world, embrace the skin that you are in. And in time, you'll begin to understand and accept that we are just humans experiencing this planet and what it has to offer us. But as melanated people, as the creators of all of this, we feed everything around us energy and scientifically matter. So matter is what we're comprised of. And it should matter to us how we respond to certain situations. Some of us are ready and some of us are not. And that is okay. You have the right to take the time and create the space you need to make sure that you are getting what you need in life. And you also, I want to encourage us to surround ourselves with like minded human beings. Now, everybody is not going to love you, everybody is not going to hate you. And so you have to know who you are and you have to walk in your own strength. And I can tell you this, when I was not sure, it was integrity that allowed me to stand. It was character and integrity. Now, very few people belong to this club called integrity. And I like to believe that has been what has afforded me opportunities. It has also been what has allowed me to discern things before they actually happen. But because I'm human, I still had to experience it. But it was my character and integrity that allowed me to survive that situation. And if you're here today, living, breathing, full body, even if you have lost limbs, lost eyesight, you are still amongst the living and you still have an opportunity to get it right. So it's all about embracing all the world has to offer us. And it's also about accepting who you are as a human being. Now, I can tell you what has carried me through this tumultuous year, even when I didn't have confidence, I had a knowing in here and a knowing in here that I was going to make it through. Now, some of the times I had to sit quietly in a space and listen because we oftentimes have self talk and mind conversations that will dictate how we respond and our next move. It is in those moments, those critical moments, that I have learned to sit in my full embodiment of stillness. And sometimes, if we're knowledgeable, educated, learned, readers, all of the knowledge that we have will start to play on our psyche. And it starts to guide us and maybe confuse us and interfere with what is really supposed to be happening and taking place. So 2024 is almost out the door. And, we have many ways to celebrate a ending of something and a beginning of something else. So I'm very excited. So today I release all the negative energy, all of the confusion, all of the internal conflicts sometimes that was taking place this year. I release it. I put it back. I give it back to the universe. And I give myself permission to move forward in the fullness of love, grace, peace, and mercy. It is when I am compassionate and loving others without borders, wanting nothing in return, is when I am in my most fulfilled and highest element. So I give thanks today that I recognize my greatest strength and my power is being a support and advocating for my people, loving them. It's difficult to love someone when they are not acting lovable. It is easier to avoid them. It is easier to move out of the way, but it is a challenge to understand that there are some other things happening and that full support is needed. Does that mean you immerse yourself into their situation? Absolutely not. What it means is that you give them the grace and the opportunity. Go in peace and not in discord. If they're experiencing life, and we all do, sometimes that life experience is shared, and sometimes that life experience is meant for you to master, for you to conquer and master a situation. So I think that it's important in 2025 that we move forward in this beauty and the spirit and the consciousness of discernment. We have to live in a higher state of consciousness and awareness. And sometimes that means not saying a word. That's why we have two ears and a mouth. We should listen more than talk. And so this year has been a challenge because I wanted to stay engaged. I always do. But the spirit draws me in another direction. I have been pulled heavily this year in the area of social justice, fighting for reform, as well as fighting for those who don't have a voice, or the unlearned, the uneducated, who found themselves in situations where they were completely being railroaded or taken advantage of. So I've spent a lot of time at the state capitol in Atlanta with senators having conversations. I've spent time even in my own community. It is just insane how I walked into a community that historically had a population of Caucasoids. And today it is a true melting pot. But the difference is management and styles. And so now you have a lack of commitment to maintaining maintenance ensuring that there's not mismanagement of monies. But although those things are happening and people can see it very, very clearly, that mindset, hmm, a Stockholm syndrome, it's a mindset. You know, the people you pay stealing from you, embezzling money from you, and you decide that that's the lane you want to stay in. And then you decide to go in your house and shut your door and not maintain your property. That's a bad mistake. I've had some wars in Charleston, South Carolina, with gentrification. There's a mayor in South Carolina. He's former mayor, been around for a long time. But I'm going to tell you, those Negroes in North Charleston love him to death. He would come through, pat the little children on their head, give them a little popcorn, and gentrify the whole of North Charleston. If you go to Charleston, all of those islands, Gullah Geechee, Johns Island, James Island, Watermala Island, Kiowa Island, all of these beautiful places up the panhandle, Florida panhandle, was Gullah Geechee. And now all of that land have been taken away from the indigenous people of Charleston, of Savannah, South Carolina, all the way up to Florida. So, we need to do better and be better managers over what we have. And I understand that the people with the power write the story. But I also understand we are not powerless. We have more power than they could ever have. We have more energy that they can ever have. We create systems, the world we live in today, we create it. And so we have to have the strength and the fortitude to understand that we are more than what meets the eye. And when you know that about yourself, you will go forward in a bold and mighty way. I don't care where you are. If it's you want to go to Africa and move, stand in your essence, stand in your truth, pick yourself up and do what you were called to do. If you want to go to China, if you think about the Moors and the understanding of Afro-Asiatics and what Asia looked like, and all the samurais they had, the indigenous black folks in Japan, the black and brown, the Afro-Ascendants in Japan. If you think about um, Mexico, Cuba, Central America, even Europe, you can go to the Vatican and you'll see people blacker than black hanging. They understand who we are, but we don't understand who we are. We have issues with that. So, my hope is that we will start to embrace the skin that we are in. It is the power within us that will liberate us. And what I'm understanding, what liberation looks like and feels like for us, is not the same liberation of the hatred, the animosity, and the power play that others have. So I want to encourage you, my people, to liberate yourself, liberate your mind, liberate your heart, free your spirit, do all those things that you were meant to be. I promise you, London bridges have fallen down. America is on the decline. It is already declined. The issue is the Afro-Ascendants, the original, the indigenous folks, will not stand up and come up to the plate to do the work. And it's not a hateful work. I can applaud Ibrahim Traore. I can applaud Paul Kagame of Rwanda. They all had challenges and they are not perfect beings. I can applaud the president of Mali, of Niger, of all, in even Chad coming up, making decisions to do what is right for their people. Now, what would be even greater is an opportunity for Africa to be a united Africa, a united West Africa, a united East Africa, a united South Africa, a united North Africa, a united America. We are the 54th African nation, indigenous, the diasporas. That's who we are. And so we have to understand that wherever we go, we're unique individuals. You can be whatever your heart desires to be. Wherever you go, you will have the same feeling you have in Africa. If you went to Asia, you'll feel that same energy. If you go to Europe, you'll feel that same energy. If you go to Antarctica, you will feel that same energy because we are the original people. And wherever you plant your feet is home. And so you have to figure out what the heart says about your home. Is this the right home? Is it a seasonal home? Is it a back and forth kind of home? It's okay. We can pick and choose. We don't have to feel stuck. Now, don't go nowhere without no money and get stuck and get complacent because you can't get back. Be ready in season and out. Be prepared. And always, always, always have a way to get to your next destination, wherever that may be. But I'm so excited for you. I really am. I can feel the love, I can feel the movement, despite the election that took place and the orange orangutan that's coming for the next 4 years. Despite that, we are still a people full of power. And if you see the global affairs that's going on today, even Trump has to eat his words about Africa. Everybody is running scared. When I say everybody, France, the US, and the UK, they're all afraid to see what Africa is going to do. They didn't expect these leaders to exile these people out of their countries. France didn't expect that. America didn't expect that. Now they will be at the mercy. And if we could see the atmosphere and what the universe is doing and pushing out to us, if we could grab a hold of that and forget about what we think or what we think we know and embrace the natural flow, the natural energy of what's happening, things will shift at a much faster rate for us. And you see it happening in this country. You see the Latinos, they're home, they occupied these lands. The Native Americans, the indigenous people occupied these lands. And so now you have Latinos. They're everywhere. You see them everywhere. And many of them are not citizens, but they're doing the things they need to do to advance their nationality. They're doing it. They are developing businesses. You see 10 of them in the house together. They'll work that. They'll buy a business. They'll live together. They'll celebrate with each other. When they make enough money, they'll break off and go do their own thing and still come back to that unit, that core that allowed them to be who they are. And you don't see them going back and forth. No, they about the business now. And so it's up to us to move forward. It really is. And I believe that we got this. I know we can do it. It's about self love, putting all of that negative stuff behind you and embracing the positive side, the true nature of who we are as a people. And it's not about money. Money is not it. There's a lot of wealthy, sick, broken, miserable people in the world. What is going to elevate us is love. Money is not the solution. Wealth is not the solution. You see it with us who get money. We go plumb food, plumb crazy. It is love. And many of us go get somebody outside of our race. We can be the most pan African nationalists. We'll have a white man or a white woman right next to us every day. And, but we're still talking and preaching rhetoric about black power when we have no power and it's all talk and we have no love for our own kind. You cannot talk about being pro black and you don't love your own people. And when you love them, you won't extort them. You won't make promises to them. You will not make commitments and not follow through. You will not create an illusion and draw them in to your sickness. Many of us go around the world from Portugal to Africa, get somewhere, get stuck. Then all of a sudden, we start doing all these things and having all these professions. But then that creates the space for dishonesty, for theft. And I'm going to tell you, one of the main issues our people are having in Africa is the land issue. So you have to be careful about going to Africa in hopes of buying land. I say go, take your time, do it the right way. Get connected with lawyers, with the Ministry of Lands. Know what you are getting into. Forget about the people that's selling you a bill of goods. And that's all that it is. It's a wooden nickel fake stuff that they put out to encourage you to come. But the only way they're surviving in Africa is stealing from you. And I tell you, I say it again and again and again. It is the Americans who are the most vulnerable. And I'll tell you why. It's because our passion and our level of commitment. Some of us may be crooked, but they're going to give a little, get a little. They're not just going to take 24/7. They will give. But the problem is the people that don't give is robbing everybody of that real, genuine experience. So, you guys, wherever you are, whatever you decide to do it in love. Be authentic. And if you can't be authentic, discern, maybe, just maybe, I need to go sit down somewhere, check myself, and find balance. It's okay to be restored. We're not perfect beings. It's okay to take a back seat until you can get it together, until you can walk in the fullness of your intentions and of your experience. So it is a beautiful thing to be intentional. You guys, I tell you, so for 2025, my hope is that we are intentional, that we are moving together as one. And I tell you, don't get disappointed when someone is not on the same page. It's okay. They still got some healing to do, they still got some work to do, but you don't allow that to stop you. Don't let it discourage you from moving forward. You can discern that thing in a person. If you are grounded, if you are centered in your own space, being aware of your surroundings, acknowledging the spirit in you, that's what it is. Because we, the melanin, we are spiritual people. We rise above circumstances and situation. We are not sitting under a dome. We are over the dome. And we need to understand that we are the overseers. We have a charge, we have a responsibility to maintain integrity and to create space so that we keep evolving and to acknowledge the beauty in the growth that happens when we embrace ourselves and when we embrace others. And so that's the goal for 2025. I am going to stand in the stillness and the fullness of the essence of who I was created to be. Sometimes I'll talk, sometimes I won't. You'll experience that this year from me. You did. But it was only because I was in a space of hearing, journaling, discovering, rediscovering, and creating a more beautiful and precious path for myself. And I hope that you are working on creating this space for you, your children, and generations to come. I tell you, there is nothing greater than walking in the fullness of love and forgiveness. There is nothing anyone can do to make me hate them. I may not travel in your same circle. I will never hate you. but I will always respect human beings. I don't have that in me. I don't have that kind of heart that stabs people in the back. I'm saying one thing with my mouth, but my actions are another. I've never been that kind of human being. But there's so many fake brothers and sisters walking around today. Hey, is it artificial intelligence? Hey, I don't know. I don't know. That's a whole nother level. But yeah, it's a lot of us doing that. And when you see it, don't blame your brother. Don't blame your sister. They don't understand how critical it is for them to release it, relinquish it, receive it. So we got to let it go, and we got to be able to receive what we need. So, you guys, for 2025, I'm hoping nothing but the very best for all of you. And I'm letting you know that I love you, I value you, and I appreciate you. And I always tell my daughter, when you're dealing with human beings, don't take no damn wood nickels because you can't buy shit with wood. Okay? You can't. So, my people, don't take no wooden nickels because people will sell you a bill of goods. Don't let them do that. Dot your I's and cross your T's. Go back, sit with it, meditate on it, and then let it happen the way it's supposed to happen. There's nothing that has to be forced. If it's forced, then it's going to be an issue. Let it happen naturally. I encourage you to let it happen naturally. What is for you is for you. And if it's not, maybe it's not no. Maybe it's just not right now. Because sometimes we're still learning and we're still growing and we're still developing. And if we get it too soon, we'll lose it because we're not managers. We're not managers. We're too busy being field workers, plantation mindset, but not managers. And so we need to learn how to be a manager first. So maybe it's not no, maybe it's just not right now. We're still learning. You guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I did some amazing things on YouTube this year only because of you. I had some hours I've never had before. I've had some views. Who knew that I would get them? But thank you so much. I did try my very best this year, and I had some phenomenal responses and communication, and felt a lot of connectedness and hope for those who are on BWise African Movement. So I want to encourage you, don't give up on me. Not yet. Hang in there with me. Give me an opportunity. Let me learn what I need to do and what I need to say. Encourage me. I'll encourage you. Let's support one another. I thank you guys for hanging in there with me. I really do appreciate you. I'm hoping that I can expand my borders in 2025, learn more, do more, have a more presence, but I have to decide what is the ultimate goal for me and this YouTube thing. What is my responsibility? Why am I doing this? I always have to know the why and what's the purpose and what's the outcome. So there's a target, there's a task, there's a target, and then there's a strategy to get to it. So I need to understand what that is, and I don't want to be fake, nor do I want to be pretentious and overwhelm you. But I do like this idea, if I can be honest, of sharing and growing. It's just learning how to frame these conversations. It is not difficult. It is not, sorry. It is not easy. But I'm assuming, like anything, the more you do it, the better you get. So that is my hope, is just to keep doing it, keep loving you, keep embracing you, keep encouraging you, and allowing you to encourage me. Thank you so much. I'm Loretta Simpson of BWise Africa Movement, and I want to make sure that we are all headed, propelling ourselves in the right direction. So the direction can change, and we have to be open and flexible to the change. But when you're headed that way, immerse yourself into everything so that you can feel the experience and learn from it. So when it's time for you to head in another direction, things will come much easier and life would be simpler, not as complicated, and you will be more open to all the beauty this life has to offer.